it up, and if they disappear, will he be Vingegaard? Will he go on the attack? That is the question. He might just sit back and wait for the others, and that will play the advantage here for Ciccone. That's what he will be hoping, that there'll not be that battle between the GC men, and more so Vingegaard putting in these these big attacks quite a long ways out. But 1:13 at the moment, 5 kilometres to go. He's going to have a lot left in the tank to hold on.
Rubio at 13 seconds. Here are Visma. I look behind to see the Maglia Rosa further up, and he's backed up by 2 riders from Bahrain. Remind you that the 1 rider remains for Gal. And well, at his disposition, Jonas Vingegaard has 4 men in yellow. The white jersey, we think, still towards the back. The rest of his Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe team are there. And they're further forward with Jai Hindley. They're now moving up right side as we look at it. Conversation between Piganzoli and Vingegaard.
Hindley on the wheel of Ben Zwiehoff there. Rubio, he's still got him in his sights, but the gap is opening just second by second, getting a little bit larger.
For the lack of trying for Movistar so far at this Giro. There's 400 metres between the front of the race and the main peloton.
But Ciccone fighting his way to that 3.5 kilometre to go mark. That's where we get the next flatter section, and a slight dip down within that. Take a few deep breaths, wind up the speed, and then that final 3 kilometres is a real brute.
Barret Lemon at the front right now. Camponaris after that. Piganzoli and Kuss remain as well. White jersey still sitting at the back. And the gap going down to 1:03 now. Nail-biting stuff this at the Giro. Rather than the bombastic show of yesterday, it is more a tense affair. We're watching, we're waiting, we're wondering. It's gone below a minute now. And look at what's to come. That's the final 3 Ks. 15%.
Yeah, the final 3K, the last part of this climb, really has some teeth. And Ciccone, he'll know it, but it won't stop him fighting with everyone, with everything he's got. When he loves to get to the finish and do his iconic throwaway of the sunglasses victory salute, cop the fine that comes along with it. Oh, but there's such a long way. It might only be 4 kilometres, but it's going to seem never ending for Ciccone, and they're bearing down on him. 56 seconds, they'll just be able to see him. He'll look down the mountain, he'll get glimpses of the chasing peloton.
Halfway into his effort. 4 Ks to the top now. Through that banner, we're seeing it from Rubio's perspective here. 16 seconds is his gap. Remember, he won that stage in Switzerland, didn't he, Grand Montana? Jumps to 18 now. Bunch at 56, we're told. Kudos to Ciccone, whatever happens. He's really lit up the second half of this stage.
Well, he definitely went at a time when it was a surprise, I think, to a lot of the riders, and certainly a surprise to me. I didn't think of that launching pad that was there, but he took advantage and got into the front end of the race, and he's in a real good position now, but he's going to have a lot of work to do, and depend on how he is. If he's calculating his effort here and just keeping it going, he's thinking about the real steep sections coming up, and it will depend on what happened here now in the peloton. Will they be attacks, or will they start looking around when the domestiques disappear from the leaders? Will they be looking about at each other?
I don't think Pellizzotti's on a good day. I don't think Pellizzari's on a good day, is he? He's got Aliotti dropped back to look after him, and this could be danger, and alarm bells ringing. Victor Camponaris might be getting a sniff of this as well, because he's just up the pace at the front.
Yeah, Pellizzari, he's managing to hang on to the back of the group. He's never left the back of the group as riders have dropped out of it, but never looking like being able to come forward. Now, if Giulio Ciccone can put in the same sort of performance that he did on Blockhouse the other day, he lost 1:40 there on the entire climb, and the finale, the attacks kicked off with over 5 kilometres to go.
Here we go. Keep your eye on this.
Oh,
Pellizzari's having a work. He's having to close every gap. For the minute, he's surviving. But this could be the moment that he starts getting into a bit of trouble. The wheels let go by Enric Mas, who again becomes the headline GC name to let go early on. But it looks as though Sean Kelly might be about to be joined by Giulio Pellizzari.
Yes, he is, and I think Visma Lisa Bike are starting to ramp up the pace here, because that's tells the guys are losing contact, and you can see the way the riders are just on the rear here. They're really giving that effort to stay in, and 49 seconds it is coming down. For this man out front, is it going to be possible to hold on? Such a slim lead, 3 kilometres to go. I'm afraid it's not going to be the day for Ciccone.
It's going to be so close, but meanwhile back there with Pellizzari, everyone's been asking Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, who's going to be the leader? Will it be Jai? Will it be Giulio? And they've always said the road will decide. This is the Corno alla Scale deciding.
I was reading Daniel Benson's Substack yesterday, and he was saying he'd been talking to Red Bull, and their management had been saying, on a stage like this, somebody always shocks, somebody always surprises, somebody has a bad day. It'll come when you don't expect it. Unfortunately, it's one of their own riders. And here comes Felix Gall. Decathlon want this as well, and they can see that Pellizzari's having a bad day. They really want to stick it to him now.
Yeah, it's not Visma Lisa Bike worrying about Pellizzari, but it's Felix Gall and his team Decathlon eliminating one of the contenders, and that gap is now massive.
20 seconds already.
Yes, well, you can see the way it's going on the front end of the group of favourites there. They're really ramped up the pace, and they know this man is a difficulty, and they're going to take it here. Decathlon, of course, they have worked for this all day today, so they're taking advantage when they see its possibility.
Cool set, mass. Also, we'll keep an eye on that. They're just 26 seconds now away from Giulio Ciccone, and this is turning into a general classification fight to the finish as we see gaps opening up maybe at the front, and the Maglia Rosa has to watch out as well. Here's Felix Gall. He moves, he goes. Vingegaard is on the wheel. At the moment, there's no one else in the picture. Arensman will try, as will Jai Hindley.
Yeah, but they've had to watch the gap open up as Gall accelerates with Vingegaard over the top of Anna Rubio, which means they're only 20 seconds or so behind Giulio Ciccone. This is a big power move from Felix Gall. His team's worked all day. He wants to give return on investment.
Gall had the pressure placed on him, and at the moment he's responding in kind. Remember, it's not just Vingegaard, his rival. His main rivals maybe realistically are further down, and he's putting time into them ahead of the time trial.
Yes, well, he's doing, I think, what they set out to do, to try and, take advantage of this man's shape, because we see Felix Gall on Blockhouse. He was excellent, and again, here he's the one who really pushes on now, and with Vingegaard in tow, and he is going to put time into his main challenges. Of course, we know time trial is coming up. He wants to take as much time as possible, but when you're in real good shape on those days, that's the time to try and go and take the advantage.
Felix Gall riding a different climb tactically to what he did on Blockhouse. There he followed as long as he could, but stayed within his numbers and rode tempo to reduce the gap to Vingegaard. Here he's the aggressor. He's made the big acceleration. Question is, can he deal with he's just done to himself, and can Hindley, Arensman and the others tempo their way back onto the wheel of Felix Gall?
It's almost half a minute to the Maglia Rosa at the moment. A reminder, it was 3 minutes 15 the gap that Eulalio had on Vingegaard at the start of the day. There are 2 kilometres remaining, just under, and Ciccone continues to battle on. Arensman's now coming across.
So Arensman didn't initially try and really go with the big acceleration. He's not a punchy climber, but he's gone into that time trial style of climbing, ride his numbers and stay consistently in that zone.
Ciccone at the front, Gall on the way. He asked the question of Vingegaard a moment ago. He got a negative answer.
So he has to continue, and this is he's take it on now, and if Vingegaard is not going to take up the pulling, he just have to continue on. He's opened the gap, and he's doing what I think the team was preparing for him all day, so he has to go on and do it.
Well, Ciccone is biting in now. We know what the fans want. One of them got too close here. Ciccone getting a little bit of push off as well. They want a Ciccone win, but he's been caught by the favourites and now dropped.
Ciccone was reached. Ciccone has been distanced, and the Magliarosa are distanced by 37 seconds. This is now serious time being put into Giulio Pellizzari. It's already a good day for Felix Gall.
Yes, well, it is a brilliant day. He's taken time out of one of his big GC contenders, and yeah, he's just continuing on to walk away as we see further down the mountain. Yeah, the pink jersey struggling here. And yeah, we can see the little Hindley just up in front, Storer up there, G, they're all just fighting to get this final 15, 1600 metres over. And Ciccone, chapeau to him, he did a magnificent ride today, but unfortunately it kicked off that little bit too early on this line with any chance to go for the stage win.
Pellizzari's trying to save what he can, try to salvage what's left, and Tijmen Arendsman is climbing in the general classification here. 26 seconds from the lead to the Magliarosa group.
It's a very good job being done by Afonso Eulalio in his defensive pink, and yes, he will wear that through the rest day and into the time trial on Tuesday. But Felix Gall with a show of strength, backing up what his team's done all day, but he needs to be careful that he doesn't put himself in a position where Vingegaard's just going to explode out of the wheel and smash him with an extra 20 seconds.
1,033 days since he last won a bike race. That was at the Tour de France on its hardest, steepest climb. They've come up to 15% of a climb here, and Gall is being forced by Vingegaard to keep pedalling, keep putting up the power. They're chasing behind at 20 seconds. They're at just over half a minute in the Magliarosa group, and Tijmen Arendsman is doing really well.
Yes, he is doing well. He's just walking away at it. But the Magliarosa, I think it's a bit further down than that at 34 seconds. When you look back down that mountain, you know, you cannot see him, and you know, the time it clicks away very, very quickly here. But we'll be interested to see how we can limit his loss here. But Felix Gall, he's just trying to coax Vingegaard to take a turn on the front, but he's not taking it at all. And there is going to be a point where he will just, you know, kick for the stage win. But Gall, he has to just continue, give it his all here. He's in the position now where he's going to make time on his GC contenders.
Yeah, Gall is doing the right thing. He's got to do it. But you look at the faces of the two riders. Gall looking in self-inflicted agony, and Jonas Vingegaard looking calm and composed.
Inside the final kilometre, all the way up to Cornualescale for the first time in 22 years. And it's the first time Jonas Vingegaard has ever been to the Giro. He's already got one stage win. He now attacks and looks like he's about to ride away to number 2. Gall's trying to react, but we know that's not his thing. The explosive efforts, the little bursts of power, he needs to settle in. And Vingegaard, having sat on and waited, has now gone for the killer move.
Yes, we can see he's just riding away metre by metre here, and Gall, he just have to, you know, keep on giving all the way to the line now, and yeah, take what's available in the general classification time-wise. That's what he set out to do, and yeah, just get to the line as quickly as possible.
Record for this climb, 31 minutes 10 seconds. It's going to be absolutely pulverised.
It will be annihilated, as has been most of this field. Felix Gall, brilliant ride, but Jonas Vingegaard, a man small in stature, but showing he is head and shoulders above the rest.
Gall turning up, and he has been great at this Giro so far. He remains in the shake-up and in the mix. But the Danes are there, and they are delighted. Vingegaard will look around, he'll see more distance, and he's about to see another line on his extensive palmarès. 49 wins in professional cycling before today. He's now got stages at all 3 Grand Tours. He's hoping to win another Grand Tour, and he's laying yet another.
Principio.
2 different types of climbs. Today his rivals took control, but Vingegaard, after following and following, has delivered the killer blow. Jonas Vingegaard at Cornualescale. Finish line ahead. And it's 50 up for Jonas Vingegaard. He wins again at the Giro. Felix Gall once more's in the fight. He's done brilliantly, and after taking control, puts time into the rest of his rivals. But the count now continues. What's the gap to those with him? What's the gap to the Maglia Rosa? Look at Davide Piganzoli. He's right with Arensman, and he might even nab the bonus seconds. Oh, he is flying. And Visma, as a team, are now seizing this Giro. It's Piganzoli punching the air.
Wow.
And what about the Maglia Rosa, ladies and gentlemen? He's going to have a lead of almost 3 minutes going into the Resti. There is G, there's Stora, that's Kuss,